and welcome to Hockey Talkie. The NHL Draft Lottery just happened tonight, and if you haven't heard, Hawks fans, we got some good news. We got some real good news. Now, even though I just got back into town today, and I really haven't had a whole lot of sleep the last couple days, and I also had a beer league game tonight, and well, if you can tell, I'm sunburned pretty decently. Like, if you look at my hands, yeah. What I'm trying to say is it's a struggle right now if you are me, but I figured I kind of owe you guys because I still have to do Hawks recap videos for the last two Blackhawks regular season games. I figured I'd at least get something up on time, and that's what this video is. So let's talk about the draft lottery. So with the way the Blackhawks finished this season, making a solid run at the playoffs, ultimately falling short, they ended up finishing with the 12th worst record in the league, which means that they had the 12th best odds at winning the draft lottery. Now, last year, the Blackhawks finished worse. They had the 7th worst record in the league, which means that they had the 7th best odds at winning the draft lottery. But last year, the Hawks ended up falling a spot because the Carolina Hurricanes, who had the 11th worst record in the league, ended up basically winning the draft lottery and jumped all the way up to number 3. Blackhawks ended up picking Adam Boqvist at number 8, which really didn't end up being all that bad of a deal. Boqvist is having a tremendous season down in the OHL with the London Knights. Probably still another year or two away from joining the Blackhawks, but still a very coveted and promising defensive prospect. And, well, you and I both know that we need all the D help we can get. But this year, tonight, the Blackhawks had luck on their side. They had Hurricanes luck on their side. Essentially did what the Hurricanes did last year. The Blackhawks jumped all the way up from number 12 to number 3. We have the 3rd pick in the draft coming up. Now, it's not going to be Hughes or Kakko, but it's going to be a really good player. And the jury's out who's going to be picked at number 3. And honestly, the Blackhawks, Stan Bowman, and the scouting staff and everybody involved with that have done a really good job recently in drafts. I'm pretty much going to trust them with this. They know who they're looking for. They know the types of traits in players they're looking for to fit on this team. It really could be a number of players. So I'm not really all too worried who it ends up being. Honestly, probably not going to be a defenseman because we do have a lot of defensive prospects right now. Probably going to load up with a winger or a forward of some sort. Honestly, it's probably going to be best player available based on what Stan Bowman and his staff values in traits. And if you paid attention in history class, you'll remember that Jonathan Toews was picked at number 3. Now, I'm not saying that every draft has a Jonathan Toews at number 3, but you're going to get a good player. Sorry, my bad. We're going to get a good player. Speaking of luck, the New Jersey Devils get the number 1 pick for the 2nd time in 3 years. They're essentially becoming the next Edmonton Oilers here. Might actually be something to do with Taylor Hall. We're going to have our scientists look into this more. But, yeah, pretty lucky for them. On the flip side, the Colorado Avalanche, 2 out of the last 3 years, have had pretty poor luck. 2 years ago, if you remember, finished the season with 48 points in the standings. By far and away the worst team in the league. They ended up dropping down a couple of spots, I believe, to number 4. This year, they didn't get the best odds with their record, but they got the best odds because they made the trade involving Duchesne to Ottawa, and Ottawa ended up finishing last this year, and Colorado got this year's first-round pick from Ottawa because of that. And, yeah, they dropped again to number 4. Unfortunate. Now, because of these scenarios, some people are going to say this thing is rigged, which is obviously not the case. The NHL Draft Lottery was implemented in 1995. Since then, it's been tweaked a couple of times. Odds have been tweaked to try and refine the system to give better odds to worse teams. However, there's still odds. There's no guarantees. It's still a lottery. It's still random. And just because it's random doesn't mean there's not duplicates. So the Oilers or the Devils can win multiple times in a short time frame. It just can happen. And over the course of, since 1995 to now, 25 years or so, that's not a huge sample size to begin with in terms of mathematics. Randomization's not really going to average out over that short of a time frame. So yeah, it's not rigged. But even if it's not rigged, there's still going to be people who are none too happy tonight that the Blackhawks have got a top 3 pick, especially since they're pretty fresh out of their decade of excellence. They've missed the playoffs for 2 years now, but this is the first time in, over a decade. So yeah, they kind of want to see some new teams and are not too happy about the Hawks. And to that, I pretty much say this. I'm not gonna lie, that took a lot of energy out of me. So yeah, great night for Blackhawks Nation and therefore the world. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Hockey Talkie. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Let me know who you think the Blackhawks might pick with the number 3 overall draft pick in this upcoming draft. Or maybe you think they might package that pick in a trade. Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. I will be getting Hawks recap videos for the last 2 Blackhawks regular season games. I will do that in the next day or two. So stay tuned for that. But until then, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.